arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony,
I think you better call Donnell.
purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm,
I think you better call Donnell.
when your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home,
I think you better call Donnell.
that's right, you better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. And the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lyles. Darnell Lyles.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we created a Patreon Family Meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, thefamilymeeting.com, and click on the link. The following program, The Family Meeting, is sponsored by Polaris Insurance Agency and Eric Grant, and to the extent of their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
This is Attorney Darnell Lyles, and every Sunday I listen to The Family Meeting. Hi, I'm Clyde Tin with Kelly Dry and Warren LLP, www.kelley.com. I listen to The Family Meeting.
Welcome to the world of the Family Meeting. It's Family Meeting time, y'all. I'm your boy E. That voice you heard there doing the reverb is the black Asian dude himself.
That'd be me.
Richard Chu. Grab your phones. You know how that works. Find us on social media. Like, subscribe, and follow all the different platforms because we're there.
Yes, we
everywhere except Snapchat. We didn't do Snapchat.
But we did TikTok,
and Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We're there as well. Yeah, find us there because that's where the conversation continues when we're not here, and it's interesting indeed.
Yes,
also visit our webpage. That webpage is tfmradioshow.com. TFM, like the Family Meeting, radioshow.com. You'll find archived broadcast, music playlist, and the live video of this broadcast. At least a link for it will be there for you. Our white slaves are in here today, Devin and Paul. Thank you, partners, for that.
Killing it.
Always fun to talk to them, man.
Yeah, they are.
Insightful dudes.
Yes, they are. That's exactly what I was
Paul
thinking.
was talking about his son interested in murdering him. So
Wait. His son interested in murdering him?
He has a murderous son, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's important to have murderous children. Hey, man, you can become a patron of our broadcast for as little as $5 a month. You can. There's a button on the website, tfmradioshow.com. Click it and become a patron. That's how we're here every day.
I'm going to get a sign that says mash it.
Mash it. Mash it. Mash that button, all right?
Yep.
That's right. Find it on the webpage, tfmradioshow.com. And the lines fill quickly. The number is 773-763-9278. 773-763-9278. Just returning from Washington today, man. I was out there all week this week.
Eric was doing the daddy thing and
Went out
another
there
business
on Tuesday,
thing.
hang out with my son, do a little business, see some friends. You know, just get a little getaway from me there.
Good.
It's good to sleep across the bed.
Yeah. Oh, stretch out.
Stretch out across the bed. I could do that this time. That was cool. That's pretty cool, man, to be able to do that.
Eric was being a great pops as well. He never likes to take any credit for it, but he was doing what great dads do and
checking on my son,
checking on his son. So,
and I got up every morning at 6 a.m.
Why?
To practice with the basketball team.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you stay on campus or did you stay with your son?
I stayed at a hotel.
Okay, stay at a hotel. All right.
Yeah.
Third option. And you
because my son is a bachelor.
Yes. Okay. You don't want to deal with the drawers on the floor.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with that.
So you got up every morning. What time did practice start? 7?
6 a.m.
It started at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
So you got up at 5 because you had to get your stuff ready and get to the
I got
campus.
up at 5 Eastern, 4 Central.
Oh, look, because you had to adjust. I mean, inside of a week, you know, it takes you a week to adjust, even 1 hour.
Yeah, I was burning on fumes. That's for sure.
So the second day was probably the toughest day was the third day.
Well, I didn't have an intense week, so it wasn't so bad.
Okay.
And it's good to see the fellas. Let me tell y'all something. If you're a basketball fan, you're going to want to watch Howard University basketball this year.
They got it going on.
We got 5 kids over 6'10" this year.
That's scary.
5 kids over 6'10". It's a very big, strong team. I found that out. Run that out.
They didn't give you any. They did exactly what you would have wanted them to do, which is to not give you any. He's the senior person.
No, actually, they took it easy on me. I appreciate it.
Did they really?
Well, I didn't do much. I wasn't,
Okay.
didn't do much.
But
I was there. I mean, as a 56-year-old man with these 19 and 20-year-olds who are giants and, outweigh me 20 or 30 pounds.
Easily.
And just run like gazelles.
Wait, and here's the difference in that weight. Let's say, let's just for simple math, each of you weigh 200 pounds. Their 200 pounds is a little bit denser than yours and mine.
Yeah, it's a little bit denser, yeah. Yeah,
just
definitely.
Calling it as it is.
Yeah, it's young bodies, man. It's, it's a thing for sure. So I got a chance to do that. See my son, hang out with him for a little bit. We had a really nice dinner yesterday. So one of the basketball team, Jordan Wood, shout out to Jordan Wood, 6'9" from Texas, decided to run a marathon. 26.2 miles, every single inch of it. He ran it all on Saturday. So they had a celebratory dinner over at the National Harbor that I took my son and his girlfriend to. Does he run them with some? No, it's the first time he's ever done it.
Give me a break.
Yeah. It was just one of those things. It was a Phil Jackson moment. So Kenny Blankney is the head coach for the Howard basketball team. Kenny's my boy. Kenny played at Duke back in the day with Christian Laettner and Grant Hill. 2 national championships. From D.C., he's Go-Go Shorty, as I call him. Well, I call him Fat-Ass Go-Go Shorty now. And so he plays these Phil Jackson games with the kids. I mean, give them something to motivate them. And the thing that worked for Jordan was to say, you should train for and accomplish a marathon.
Okay.
Right? So he lost 10 pounds. Jordan's 6'9". He might be 230 now. Jordan is going to be the best basketball player on the court this season.
Got it.
But here's the thing you need to know about Jordan. He's the only white dude on the team. At an HBCU.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's good to see.
So I have to ask the question that's just who we are.
We ain't had a white dude on the team in 50 years, if at all.
But that's one of the great questions. But does he feel welcome, or does he feel like an oddball?
Oh no. He's fine. Jordan's fine.
But that's because...
In fact, we had 2 white guys last year. One of them came over from Europe, but he transferred.
But that's because of the environment that's set and the culture that's set.
Yeah, I mean, white people can feel comfortable around black people. We don't do that.
Bingo.
White people do that to us.
Bingo.
Why are you here kind of stuff.
So your boy had to go there. I did have to go there. But because he feels right in there, right?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I'm not going to, Jordan's fine. He's not transferring. He doesn't... Not uncomfortable or anything.
That's good. That's how we do.
Not at best I can tell. He's going into his 3rd year.
Yeah. See,
he's been there.
As Eric says, that's how we do.
Yeah.
Great.
So
he ran the mirror. How did he do? How did he feel afterwards? Or did you have a chance to talk to him about it?
I mean, yeah, he was there at dinner with us. So
good.
It wasn't like he was disabled or anything. Curled over in a corner somewhere,
19 going,
weeping.
I need some love.
He's 21 years old. He's made of rubber.
I need a hug.
Right. None of that.
Wait, what's next?
Yeah. I mean, they say running marathons rejuvenates you. People feel an extra...
When you hit the wall. I can tell you, yes, you hit the wall and then your body goes, okay. It just kind of goes into an autopilot or the zone. Yeah. And you do. Yep.
I don't have any idea of the time or whatever. That wasn't the point. Finishing was the point.
There's only about 5% of people who run marathons that really run them for time, per se.
Right.
And I'm nerdy in that space because my brother-in-law has run all of the... He's run L.A., New York, Boston, Honolulu, Chicago marathon. He's run pretty much all the big 7 or 8 marathons. But yeah, man, I mean, good for Jordan. Good for y'all. Good for Howard's ball team,
Yeah, so, yeah, they're getting... So it wasn't practice, though. I shouldn't say that. They were just scrimmaging. Right? 'Cause I don't think you can run practices yet. So while Kenny was there, he wasn't coaching them. It was just threw a ball out and y'all just go at it, man.
Yeah.
So give him a chance to run. Give him a gym. They were running, though, over at Gallaudet University.
Okay.
Which, in case you don't know about Gallaudet, it's one of 2 universities in the country that have a federal appropriation that were established by the federal government and has an annual federal appropriation since their founding.
Yep.
Gallaudet, though, it's for deaf students. So it's real quiet over there. It's real quiet. Their basketball team was out there scrimmaging as well on another court. Mm-hmm. And it's different. Hey, ball. On our side, over there, it's
just doing a thing.
Just play it. And,
yeah.
It's quiet. It's a quiet campus. Everywhere's a library on that campus.
That's really interesting. I mean, it's just a weak word. Eye-opening.
It is. Yeah, you never think about some of the logistics. And we play Gallaudet as well. But they never have much of a team. It's not that kind of a school where they build a basketball program.
Right.
Not that people who are hard of hearing can't play basketball. But as luck would have it, again, there's only 2 federally appropriated schools in the country.
And one of them is in Yob's mix.
Howard and Gallaudet.
Yeah.
Right? Both of them have the same mascot.
Bison.
Both bison, yeah. Little tidbit, little Jeopardy moment for you. Yeah, that's what it is.
You could funk up the Jeopardy theme.
Don't do that, man.
You could.
Don't do that.
Just put Jazzy Jeff
I'm just
on
saying,
it.
don't, you know.
You know he could do that, E.
Maybe, but don't do that, man.
I can do it with my
Funk up Jeopardy theme song?
Don't.
Come on, man.
Don't.
Hussa. So he gonna make the Jeopardy theme
No.
Well, I mean, if they can do the Beverly Hillbillies, I guess they could do anything.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
We got some new listeners, a couple of new listeners.
Okay, here we go. You gonna do some shout outs now?
Well, yeah. One to my girl Anna, who is a sports trainer and therapist, dynamic, and may have her come through here in the weeks to come. And my sister-in-law has been plugging in and observing. She really caught wind behind what you said 2 broadcasts ago about she caught wind in terms of...
I thought you meant she had gas or something.
No, she actually said
maybe
something.
She does have gas.
She may, and that's none of my business. And stuff, man. Yeah, she's a healthy gal. But the reason I want to highlight...
Did you say she's got gas?
I
said
said
healthy?
she really found wind behind.
I thought you said she had gas.
You said that.
Healthy.
I said she's
healthy. I think you just
healthy.
said she was healthy, and that made her gassy.
Yeah, well, better than not.
Yeah, man, what the hell? Okay.
She actually sent me so let's go back to pre-K through 16. And she was listening and heard that and has really sort of leaned into that. She was a special ed teacher and counselor. She retired, I think, two years ago now. So I hope I'm right, or within the last year and a half. And she has really kind of said, "Look, y'all hit that on the screw, so to speak, because that is what needs to happen." And she really went down the road of what's happening with the number of children who don't have to and should be exposed more to other than going to a 4-year college and going to trade school or getting skills. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. She sent me a couple of items about the compensation of the leading non-4-year degree sort of skilled.
So you guys are nerding out.
Yeah, but it perked her up on what you said about pre-K through 16. So just to give her a shout out, she may give us a call in today. So anyhow,
you should do that.
Anyhow, she really appreciated where you went with that.
We got those harebrained ass ideas here. They'll never go anywhere. They'll never go anywhere.
But it's like
the people we rely on to advance them are cowards.
They're punks. Some of
them. They don't like big ideas. They like little bitty ideas, stuff that they can say, "Hey, look what I did! Look what I did!"
I can mealy mouth around it rather than grabbing the mic and saying, "This is a big idea. We're gonna do it."
Yeah, get some big ass ideas.
Yep.
I mean, like the last big ass idea was probably Eisenhower and the internet,
the roadway system.
Yeah, the interstates,
interstate,
whatever interstate system.
Yeah,
right. Let's build interstates across the entire country.
Yeah, I mean, Eisenhower wasn't none of them are. None of us.
I think it was Eisenhower.
It was Eisenhower. I'm pretty sure it was Eisenhower. But Eisenhower he had, and and I think a lot of that is spooled off of the fact that the dude was a citizen, went into the military, and saw kind of a broad enough band of things, and he had some good policies while he was in office.
Yeah, I mean, and then there was, Nixon's probably close because he had the FDA. Not FDA, Environmental Protection, EPA.
Right. And really worked well with, Nixon had a knack for working well with other foreign leaders.
Yeah.
See
what we did there? We focused in on good ideas.
Not on who they were.
We didn't talk about the gang they belonged to.
And when I said Eisenhower, I didn't say he was the last great Republican. No.
That ain't the point.
At the point.
Good ideas are good ideas.
Doesn't matter who brings it to the table.
That's right.
And part of so we go back to Terry my sister-in-law Terry recognizing what Eric said about a great idea, pre-K to 16, and building on that, which led to the conversation about ideas. People, many of our elected folks, they come to the table with mealy-mouthed stuff.
They're not real creative.
They're not bringing, and that's irrespective of what side of the table or in the middle of the table they sit.
Right.
The ideas have got to be more vast and more visionary and big. Who gives a doggone if they aren't perfectly baked out? How come we can't do this? Eric says this so many times, and to his compliment, when someone will say, well, you know, they got all these shootings and these problems in the South Side and West Side, and Eric will say, yes, that may be true. But before he jumps down a person's throat about how stupid that is in a comment, Eric will oftentimes say, if what's working.
I'm waiting to hear
Park,
what I say.
Well, you know, I
forgot what I
you
said.
can count on me for a lot of things, but one of
Thank you, man.
one of them is paying attention.
I forget what I say.
Is what Eric will oftentimes say is in this conversation about ideas. So if X, Y, Z is working in Highland Park or working in Oak Park or working in Orland Park, see how I circled the city?
You did. Good job.
Thank you. Then let's just take what's working there and apply that program, idea, whatever, to where areas that aren't having that success could have that success. He doesn't look at it and go, well, you know, but they're not going to like it there, and they're not going to do that. No, if it's working, let's just apply it to another place.
Yeah, good ideas. Good big ideas is the thing. Speaking of big ideas, we had deaths this week. Mm-hmm. That's not to say there's not deaths every week. Depending on who you are, some deaths were more meaningful than others. For me, it was comedian David Arnold.
Yep.
Died this week. And if you haven't seen his Netflix special, it is hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then hit his Instagram page, and you can watch his escapades with his family.
That's the fun.
Yeah, because his saying was that having families is not for the weak.
Nope.
So watch the man work with his beautiful young girls and his wife and do their thing. Hated to see David gone. Took him a long time to get to the point where he is. Worked hard at it.
And didn't
suffered through drug abuse to get there. Our friend Buddy is a dear friend of David as well. Bernard Shaw,
I know,
CNN anchor, lost him this week. I think he was in his early 80s.
82.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. What did he mean? What did Bernard Shaw mean or represent to you? Because you were in school at Howard when he was really starting to kick the door in. What did that mean to you? Not to.
I mean,
if anything.
Here's the thing, and I don't think that the larger community realizes this, that when you're watching I Love Lucy or the Dick Van Dyke Show or Andy Griffith, looks fine. It's humorous, entertaining, blah, blah, blah. But for people, as a youngster, from people like me and you, we don't see any black people.
And we watched all those shows. Eric and I we look at each other and chuckle sometimes about the fact that we remember lines from the Three Stooges and from Andy Griffith and from all these other.
But they weren't black people,
right? We remember lines from those shows.
And so it was a different time. There's all kind of reasons why that didn't happen. Dick Van Dyke, right? Dick Van Dyke Show.
And it was good humor, not to take away from that. However,
right, but the impact, you don't realize the impact on not seeing or not having that visual in your lives. It began to define what you could do in life. You can be what you can see. And so we weren't seeing anything. So for us, when we did see a black person, they were shuffling around.
It was a counter. Even in many times in the comedies, it was the person was one of servitude. They were shuffling around. Sorry, E.
So what you see is what you can be, and that so you didn't. You as a person who's white, you don't notice that because you're seeing all manner of people across different kinds of speech patterns and careers and so forth. We only saw one, and so we didn't know. You didn't know. Globally, we didn't know the impact of that. So the long answer to your question is seeing Bernard Shaw be a host on CNN introduced the idea that I could do that. I have no desire to do that, but people like me.
Doable.
People like me saw that and saw that, okay, black people can do that too.
Yeah, that was doable. And the branches out from that, as I call it, the Finger Lakes of that were, okay, he's doing that. I can do.
And on his game too. On his game in a big way.
Always on his game. I mean, and was ruthless about getting it right before those cameras came on.
In the same way Walter Cronkite was.
Yep.
Same exact way. We're not going to do this unless it's right. So there's that. Then there's this other person, the Queen. She died.
Yep.
And so, of course, social media lit up. And depending on your perspective, your response was quite disparate.
That's a great way of putting it.
It was quite disparate.
Disparate's the word of the week, y'all.
And I personally, I don't wish anybody harm. I wish some people harm. I wish the imbecile y'all elected to the White House, I wish him harm. There's some other people that I know I wish harm to. So I'm correcting myself.
There's a difference between harm and violence.
Okay, we'll go with that too. But I'm having a really, really difficult time giving a damn.
Yeah,
with your little stupid hats and your little funny clothes with things all over them, and y'all, Queen, what? Now you got a king?
Did you see that that meme? Ann showed this to me. Of my niece sent it to Ann, but it was of somebody said the Queen died, and there was a sister that was like she listed off
she's
9.
Like Queen Latifah, yeah, Queen Bee,
and she listed off like 9 black
Michelle
women.
Obama,
right?
I really add to that being a person who is intellectually curious and knowing the history of that country and the country that she, to a degree, presided over. I understand how you're organized. But I don't know that she has any significant contribution to minimizing the harm or rectifying the harm that her country imposed on people around the earth. So let's talk about that, Joe.
Yeah.
The number is 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
Hi, this is Patty Schuler. You can get a hold of me at Patty, Patty, at naturesrootedwisdom.com. Keep listening to Family Meeting.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris has introduced a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualityoflifeinsurance.com.
How do you describe quality of life? For most of us, it's about health, people we love, and peace of mind. Quality of Life Insurance is modern, affordable life insurance that works harder for you. It's there for your family if you die, but it can also provide benefits if you suffer a serious illness or injury and need financial help to maintain your lifestyle. Quality of Life Insurance even gives you options to build cash value for a more secure retirement. You've worked hard to attain your quality of life. We work hard to help you protect it.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
Hey, this is Brittany Perry. Did you know there's a black-owned footwear brand based here in Chicago? Perry Co. Shoes creates affordable luxury footwear and accessories for both men and women. Whether you're in a suit or out with friends, they provide pieces you can wear on a daily basis. Breaking barriers, inspiring style. Visit www.perrycoshoes.com to purchase a pair today. That's www.perrycoshoes.com.
This is Sue Myers, founder of Indivisible South Suburban Chicago. Welcome back to the family meeting.
So I had time on my hands, so I was watching an interview with Questlove interviewing Larry Blackmon from Cameo.
Was that
It was on YouTube.
Okay,
Interesting interview. Larry Blackmon doesn't do a lot of interviews, hasn't over the years. And so what frustrated me is that Questlove talked too damn much to start with, like Rachel Maddow does. But he began to describe how he started in music. And it was as a result of having snuck into the Apollo as a youth.
Really?
He would skip out of church, and he would go over to the Apollo and watch shows all day.
Yeah.
He said they knew him there as a child. They sat up in the balcony, man.
Wow.
It's like, wow. The origins of music are incredible sometimes.
Yeah.
But just the origin of the name of Cameo, I'll let you watch the interview.
Yeah, I got to check that out. Thanks.
And how the band went from like 14 to down to 3, and the strategic plan around that. And Cameo is, and that's Cameo we just listened to, Soul Army, from the Alligator Woman album. This good stuff, man. It got me. It chased me down a rabbit hole to find more interviews with Larry Blackmon. It's hard to find them.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of interviews.
Huh. Okay. And Questlove did the
Questlove did the interview on his podcast, and I swear the boy talked more than Larry did, man. So Larry's it's got some sort of affliction now where he really can't stand on stage anymore. So there's a YouTube video of a concert he did where he sat in a chair the whole time.
Does he have MS? Or
they never said what it was. He can't stand.
It sounds a little bit like MS. I hope it's not ALS. That's
he picked up a lot of weight too, so he might be on some steroids of some kind.
Got it.
To do that, but
yikes.
Anyway, Cameo is an amazing group, man.
No doubt.
773-763-9278. So I'm having a hard time carrying. I really am. About the Queen, because listen, she lived. She sat through every president since Eisenhower. She sat through.
Except Johnson. She didn't meet with Johnson.
No, I don't mean
she presided
while they were in office, right?
Okay,
and she as if my timing's correct, she fell into the chair as queen right around the beginning of official apartheid in South Africa, something that really originated from the UK, something that they basically helped or imposed on South Africa.
Or certainly, here's the thing.
And she's not in charge. The prime minister's in charge. I get that. Before y'all start trying to teach me about how UK is organized, that ain't what I'm saying.
I really don't give a damn for the FYI.
But she gets all of this deference, and I don't know that she ever said a meaningful word about the hell that the UK was delivering to people around the globe.
Well, here's the thing. Which
makes her complicit, by the way.
Very much so. And this is something that. I can, how has Eric put this, but I'll say it in my interpretation. I can acknowledge someone and criticize them at the same time, because that's what I do to myself. I acknowledge the good things that I do, but I also recognize what can I do better. And you and I have talked about this. So how this applies to what Eric is talking about, we will put a little bit of culture into this because we have to. Because America always talks about it being the home of the free, whatever, the land of the free and home of the brave, and all these other monikers and statements. And what I've been watching is all of this sort of sadness and whatever about the Queen dying, and I'm thinking about it like this. I look at it and say, somebody's mama died and somebody's grandmama died. Just like my mother died. Well, my mother would be a year older than the Queen. My mother died 4 years ago. Your grandmother would be, what, 90 this year?
She's born 1923. She'd be 100.
100. Okay. So we're in the same, we're talking about 3 women that would be contemporaries based on their age. 97, my mom, your grandmother, 100, and the Queen Elizabeth, 96. So when I look at that, I think, okay, what did she do that was good? Given what she saw, because what I've learned and had read about her over the years is that she wasn't necessarily down with the things that happened or that were happening, but to your point about being complicit, how often and readily and matter-of-factly did she speak up about them?
Use her platform.
This is where white folks in America have got to pump their brakes before they just suddenly, and I'm talking, this is a Richard Chew nerdy moment. If you're down with balance and fairness and equality and all the words that progressives like to use in describing themselves, Eric, then you've got to be willing to say that, yes, she had held her reign for 70 years, and that's great. And I'm not criticizing her. I'm just saying, how much more could she have done with the power that she wielded or had the access to change things? And when I see progressives saying these things about the Queen's dead and missing the Queen and all this genuflecting, I think, well, hold up a second. We can't let her off the hook for not using her platform more readily to affect change, if that's what she actually believed in, because signs that she was complicit to it as the sovereign. Do you see what I'm saying? It's sort of like...
I get that, but here's the thing, though.
And then, sorry, one other thing, and then I'll be quiet on this. I heard John Meacham say this morning, which I thought was really spot on. He said, there's a little bit of... And this is a white dude historian, y'all. He said...
Smart guy, too.
Smart guy. He said, he had a little snark in his voice when he said this. He said, listen, and I'm paraphrasing. He said, I get it why a lot of Americans are, upset and sad and all that. He said, but basically, let's hold the phone for a minute. He said, this is the same woman and same group that was behind the colonization of much of the globe.
Yeah.
And he said, particularly here in the United States of America.
Plundering, rape, and murder of human beings around the earth.
So when John said this, I was like, ding, 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 ding. That's the message.
But here's the part that gets me, though. It is the now's not the time to discuss that. It is the that's disrespectful garbage. So
she's going to die and get buried. And then we're going to move on to the next thing at some point.
And never address
the fact.
Because it's not consistent with what you do when you see a black man get shot down in the street. Because the first thing that society does is look at his damn criminal record.
Bingo.
And try to relate his unfortunate death
to his
with the circumstances of his life.
Bingo.
And so, hey man, listen, listen, it's their country. Y'all can waste money on that stupidity if you want, buying all them palaces and the fancy cars and the crazy looking hats and the dudes that walk around don't say nothing with the big, tall, fuzzy hats. But my father and I went there to visit England, and we walked up to that palace where those dudes were standing with them big, and my old man said, man, he's mine, man.
That's not what he said. But he can't say that on the air, but I know what Ivory Grant, Eric's daddy, said.
He said, they spent all this money on this, man. He said that coming to England was so incredibly anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It's like, because after the first day, we got on one of them red buses and rolled around and looked at all the old-ass buildings. It was like, we got 3 more days. What we going to do, man? So what we decided to do was go find some black folks.
That's one of the reasons I like to go. One of the reasons I like to go to England is for that very purpose.
Go find some black folks.
Some black English. So E, this is another nerdy chew moment, but it's applicable to what you said. So and Americans are so drawn into this whole, the sovereign and the monarchy and whatnot. And let's just, y'all got to admit, you are. So check this out.
Who is?
Many white Americans.
Okay.
White Europeans who want to say that they are.
I mean, Don Lemon's got his dumb ass over there spending a lot of time on it, too.
Yeah, because he got to get that check.
I don't know how you can even conjure up the energy to do that. Well, that makes you into an actor on television if you can go over there and act like you're actually interested in that.
Part of all of their work is a little bit of performance art. But irrespective of that,
he's got to run out of that, though.
I know he does.
He ain't running out of stuff.
No, not. And then now that with John Malone, the head of CNN, that's only going to get worse. But Eric, I had this incredibly nerdy moment. I was sitting there watching, and I was listening when what's his name was talking earlier. I thought, yes, he's right. Colonizing is the word that is the word of the day when it comes to talking about the Queen and what she could have done differently or better to affect even more people. So if we talk, a lot of people who believe in this whole monarchy thing look at it in terms of they were born into into the hierarchy. So if that and
after probably sleeping with a cousin, they were inbreeding too.
So if that's the case, and you believe that, and it's the will of God, because a lot of people who believe in the monarchy believe that it's God's will for that lineage, okay? But if you actually believe that, and you actually want to put some placement with God as the responsible, character in this fable, then you really got to understand some geography for a second. Because the last time I checked, Egypt, or any place that is supposedly deemed as where Christ was born,
or lived,
mm-hmm. It ain't even close to the little island north of there. It's on the continent of Africa.
Oh, they separate Egypt from Africa. They don't believe it's part of Africa.
Yeah, that's because they don't. We know why. But the point is, geographically, it still ain't where the monarchy is supposedly.
Yeah, you're actually making my point about, because today is the day where everybody's hollering out "never forget," right?
Right.
They're hollering out "never forget," except forget that stuff.
Right.
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 Never forget just some stuff.
Right.
Is what you're saying. we supposed to forget that. That's a long time ago. We're going to forget that.
I'm sorry. I'm the dude that paid attention in class while you were throwing paper in the back of my head going, Rich, we got something to do, man.
Yeah. So England, the UK traveled the globe and has characterized the plundering that they've done as bringing civilization to other countries, bringing civilization to already civilized people. Mm-hmm. They were bringing civilization, as they say. Basically, what the UK did is the plot for every alien movie that you've ever seen.
Pretty much.
It is you invade, you kill a bunch of people,
you rape and plunder,
and you rape and plunder, and you try to take all the resources.
Yep.
Kenya's the best example of that. I know Kenya well because I got friends there, right? So what they did to Kenya, read on it, what they did to Kenya.
Yeah.
And how they had tribes fighting to maintain their sovereignty. They were going to use, because I think, right, even now, England has to import more than half of its food because they can't grow no food on that big rock up there. Well, so they got to go else places, and they got to steal other people's stuff.
It's pretty much always been that way.
They were going to make Kenya a farm for England, right? Yeah. And then enslave the people, the people that they claimed they were civilizing. They were going to enslave them and make them grow food for them.
And if Americans got issues with what Eric and I are saying about this, then you don't have to look too far. Just up the road in Ireland, they were fighting like hell against Great Britain. How come? Because they were trying to impose their will on them. So then you leap across the Atlantic and you come to this quote-unquote New World. And then you fast forward to 1776, when we, quote-unquote, had our independence from the United Kingdom. From Great Britain. Right. And so it's okay for the United States of America to have its separation from Great Britain, but still, just think about the paradox of this, Eric. The people who were, quote unquote, wanting to break away from the tyranny and the authoritarianism and the colonizing that Great Britain was imposing on the rest of the world,
tax on tea,
and the reduction of religious freedom, quote, then just turned around and kept doing the same damn thing.
Yep.
In the United States of America, known as enslavement, for the next 200...
close to 4.
No, I'm saying since 1776. For the next 200 years, because I don't really believe... I go back to the end of enslavement with Lincoln and all that. I push it forward to 1976 in the United States of America.
Yeah, because I can... This is a kind of a sidebar. I can put slavery behind me, but I have a hard time putting Jim Crow behind me.
Right.
Because it persisted.
And in some ways, for me, psychologically, that was worse. And again,
because you thought you were free.
Because you thought you were free. And when you did something, you thought you were doing the right thing.
But back to the Queen now. This whole she had dignity and all the class and all that kind of stuff.
My mama had dignity.
So all that's cool. But there's blood that you got to contend with. And so if you're going to never forget, this is today where we never forget. Let's never forget everything. Let's make sure everything doesn't get forgotten. And can you be both? Right? Here's a great example. Michael Jordan. We love Michael Jordan's play. Michael didn't stand for a damn thing, though.
Nope.
He had the platform, not like the Queen's platform, but he had a platform, and he never stood up for anything. He never stood up for anything.
Well, in many ways, Michael's platform was bigger. You think about it for a second.
Arguably.
Because the reach was much more diverse.
Right, yeah, arguably because of all the marketing and all this stuff. I get that. But I'm with you. We ain't measuring. But they both have platforms that they could do something.
Right.
Michael Jordan never stood for anything. Right. Nope. So do I hold that against him? Yeah. Do I love him hooping? Yeah. Bill Cosby, great example.
Yep.
Bill Cosby changed our lives for the example that I gave you earlier, because he put black images. He put those Cosby kids on television with wide noses and broad lips.
Yep.
So that we saw the imagery of us. We can do that. We can be that.
Yep.
There's a message for us. He made sure that the Cosby Show, he hired a PhD to make sure that the Cosby Show had no negative images.
Got it right.
Of people of color. Right? So that
Alvin
it changed the direction of what we saw and thus what we could be.
Bingo.
There is a direct correlation, watch this, to the number of doctors and lawyers, black doctors and lawyers that pursued those fields.
Subsequent to the Cosby Show.
Absolutely.
Just like L.A. Law had an increase in law enrollment in the 80s because of that show.
That's right.
It proves the point. What do you always say? Oh, damn it. When you say that the evidence is I'm sorry. But anyhow, L.A. Law, increase in law school enrollment, Cosby Show, doctors, lawyers.
So while we're never forgetting 9/11 and everything else you don't want to forget, let's not forget that too. And so what we're watching now is an attempt to paint her in a different light. I don't give a damn if she died. I don't care who's sad about it. I don't care about none of that. If you're going to talk about that woman, tell the whole story.
Don't just paint her as a saint, because she wasn't. She was a human being that was lofted into something. And I want to know, if you're going to disagree with me and Eric, I want to know what it is that she did that you can name.
No. I ain't interested in that. I ain't even interested in that. You may want to hear that. I ain't interested.
I'm really not. I'm really not.
Let's tell people the whole story.
I'm trying to give people some
room. Let's talk about the story that they're not talking about on CNN and everywhere else. They're taking up. I ended up having to watch Seinfeld.
Oh, come on. Because
I couldn't watch CNN because they had this stuff on all the time.
You had to listen to George Costanza.
They followed this big-eared dude that became king,
Charles.
Yeah, that dude. They followed him around in his car across the countryside.
For what?
For 15 minutes.
For what?
Why I got to watch this man's car drive for?
The car worked.
Give me some news,
man. Got it from A to B.
And Don Lemon is like, they're moving on to, dude. 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
Kathy Gwen Esther, please do mylaundry.com and the Laundry Bag Incorporated. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
We do. We buy, we sell, we move, we store. Anything, anytime, anywhere. We are We Do, the company that handles all your stuff. If you have anything that you want to do something with, please call us. We buy, sell, move, store, donate, discard. Anything, anytime, anywhere. eBay plus U-Haul equals We Do. We are moving at the speed of life. Call Terry Calloway, 312-343-9973, or via email, contact him at terrycalloway58@gmail.com.
Hey Chicago, are you always on the go? Take the new Shy 311 app with you to find the information that you need, submit non-emergency city service requests, and much more. Download the new Shy 311 app, built with Chicagoans for Chicagoans. That's Shy311 on the App Store or Google Play, or check it out online at 311.chicago.gov. Stay informed with Shy 311.
A 2016 study estimates that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft that year. Fight back against identity theft by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Dig it. Come on. See you be frontin' a lot. You the type of chick to bring the heat to the spot. Right. Cats be like, woo, when you out on the block. Come on. Especially when it's hot. You like the neighborhood watch. Come on. See me? I'm impressed with that. How you sound? Diggy bound to get next to that. Okay. Guaranteed no cash when I'm sexing that. That's what you
This is Miss Lady B from Dance Factory Radio. Welcome back to the family meeting.
That's my man, the Hipster, baby.
I wish he were. I mean, this is stupid. I wish he were still alive and performing.
Yeah.
I just miss
Although he
his-
lost it, man. He couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
He said it. He couldn't rap anymore, man.
But even if he was just around, his head was just cool.
Yeah.
You know.
The bum diddly himself.
Yes.
The number is 773-763-9278. So, hey man, listen. I know what's going to happen because I see it going on social media now, right? So we're trashing the Queen and we're disrespectful. Man, damn that. Y'all should know by now if you listen to this at all. I don't really care. I don't really care what y'all think about what we say.
And I'm in the co-pilot seat, so you know I don't give a damn.
I'm not going to be disrespectful to somebody when I got this knowledge in my head. No, I'm not going to do that. We're going to talk about it all. If you want to talk about the Queen, damn it, we're going to talk about all of it.
If I had met the Queen, one of my things would have been, so tell me what's up with this. Rather than just being all, genuflect.
You be asking questions that I don't want the answer to. That's a good question. I wouldn't ask that. I don't really care what you think.
No, I mean, I would have asked her, like, so what are you doing in this space when it comes to, an issue of equality?
Nothing.
Why not? I would have pulled an Al Franken on, like Al Franken did on CNN. Why?
That wouldn't have even changed it. I don't think none of them people give a damn about that. They have a hard time giving a damn. And, first off, looking at it, and this is what my father was caught up in when we were in England. This is stupid. This is just what y'all doing here is stupid.
Monarchical.
You got big ass gold chairs, and the only thing good about their form of government, the way they run things over there, is their parliament. Because they go order.
That's some stuff.
Because they get at it.
But that's not the monarchy. In fact,
it's not.
They don't even like that. That's
it's their form of governance.
Parliament is down. I mean, there's no pun intended on that.
But this whole thing with the palaces and the Queen, so this new prime minister had to go to her and get her to give her the boobla, the boobla, or whatever they do to these. Give her the okay.
Why?
That's stupid.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Now, this is having said that, there are kingdoms in Africa.
Sure.
And there's a certain amount of rituals and patterns and stuff and unnecessary stupidity like that in Africa too. So I'm not suggesting that this alone is stupid. I'm saying that the notion of somebody of there being a monarchy,
a ruling class,
right? These people are sleeping with each other, creating all kind of mutants in their own body. Look at that dude's ears, for heaven's sake! What the hell, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And you guys are celebrating that? They're sleeping with their cousins, man. They do that in the South, and y'all talk about them.
Yeah. Well, and that's getting less and less now. They ain't talking about them so much. They're encouraging that craziness. So listen, y'all.
Man.
Not that we really give a darn, but that to Eric's point, and I wrote this down. If you're going to talk about the whole thing.
The whole story. Don't say never forget unless you're going to never forget everything.
And ironically, on this day, this weekend of that humongous tragedy, real pain for lots of people.
Yeah. Everybody who you attach never forget to, the Jewish community, they do the same thing. All of that's a tragedy. Make sure you cover the whole story, though.
That's right. I mean,
don't forget anything. Because that's in essence, what I'm trying to get to here, that's what this country, or that's what the globe, humans on the globe do, right? They revise history, partly by claiming they've never forgotten, but choosing to forget parts.
Correct. The parts that are inconvenient. And Eric has said this on a number of occasions. If he said, if I had family that raped and pillaged and did all these things that
I feel some kind of way too.
The enslaved folks did, you'd be wanting to try to hide that mess too. So it's not like we can't intellectually.
Except I wouldn't try to hide it. I'd feel some kind of way.
Right. But then I'd deal with it so that, because
I'd be apologetic and contrite.
Bingo. That's it. That's what a grown ass person does. They look at it and go, look, man, that wasn't me, but I'm down with the genuine apology and trying to sympathize, because I can't empathize with what you're dealing with.
This country, with this monarchy being in the chair, set about a mission across hundreds of years to plunder, kill, murder, and rape people for resources.
Yeah.
They are the plot of every single Alien movie.
There it is.
Except E.T., because E.T. didn't come plundering.
No.
I shouldn't say every single.
And he wanted to.
Many of the Alien movies where the aliens come to the Earth to kill all the humans and take all the resources. That's what England is.
Even this
and has never apologized for.
No, across the globe, not in a way. I mean, it's kind of like the conversation that we have about reparations. Do we want or think that reparations are necessary? Yes, but what precedes that is the great apology, the big apology, the acknowledgement.
I'm at a point now where you can keep your apology.
Yeah, just write the check.
You need to make it right.
Write the check to. I think they should do both.
Make it. Well, yeah, apology would be cool.
But if
you don't and you give me my stuff,
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
right.
I can go figure out.
I can keep your little stinking apology.
We can go do a documentary on all the stuff you did with the check you wrote.
Yeah, that's right. So everybody know what you did, right? And again, this country here is the only country that memorializes insurrectionists. We give them statues and name schools and streets after these people.
That's why I said I made the juxtapose the if there's progressives out there that are genuflecting about the Queen's death, you need to check yourself, because if you know what her not getting in the way of and using her power to affect could have done to lives of people across the globe, you're kind of being hypocritical.
Yeah, I just can't watch it, Joe. I don't watch any of it. If I see it on television, I change the station. I happen to be on the phone while I watch CNN, watch the new king ride in his car wherever the hell he was going across the countryside for like 15 minutes, because I was on the call for 16 minutes. And they were still watching his ass drive. It's like, ain't y'all got no news, man? You gonna watch this dude?
Somebody else?
Let me get Steve calling from the Gold Coast, man. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? Did we give you enough yet?
I believe you did.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I confess to being pretty much a cynical as you. I mean, I was in the car, I heard that she had died, and the next thing that popped into my head is, okay, wait a minute, are we going to spend, a week, 2 weeks on this now? And it's not so much that I care about them covering this, it's what doesn't get covered instead. Right. It is the problem for me. Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't all be surprised about this. I mean, we're all old enough to remember back in the early 80s when, the now king married his princess, and it was broadcast. 1 billion people around the world got up at God knows what hour to watch a royal wedding. Why in God's name, I have no idea, but they did. And you've got to remember that long ago, news in this country became a money-making venture. They're covering this because, covering things like global warming policy issues, healthcare policy issues, conflicts that are still going on in the world, don't generate nearly as much viewership as this is going to generate. And that's the bottom line. CNN is a business, just like ABC, just like Fox, everybody else. So when you make the choice, okay, cover this, we can get 3-4 times as many viewers, and we can sell this amount of advertising time. So, for X amount of dollars. Over the next week and a half, because this is a 10-day process by the time she finally gets buried. And all of this ceremony, pomp and circumstance, everybody has to fly in. So, again, you've got about 10 days of surefire, bottom line. And that's why it gets covered. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you that there are other things we should be covering. Did we all of a sudden solve the world's problems? I mean, today is the anniversary of 9/11. I tune in to the Sunday morning shows every Sunday because I'd like to get something more substantive in what you just get on, I'd say, evening news, given it's not everything it should be. But today, I turned on This Week with George Stephanopoulos, and the entire thing is dedicated to her death and what's going on there. That first of all, that's not our country. And secondly, do we completely forget that 21 years ago, on this day we were attacked? I mean, that was our Pearl Harbor for this country. But you don't hear much about that at all on the anniversary of that day for this country. No, we're going to cover the death of a monarch in another country. And and I agree. It's this idea of the divine right of kings and rulership. I mean, in the 21st century, the Western society still have this sort of thing. I'll give it. It's a ceremonial position, and I understand what the British people get out of it in terms of their link to their history and their culture, and in terms of bottom line, make no mistake, in the same way that all of us have been there. I mean, I've been I've seen the palace and so forth. I mean, we drop a lot of money. Anybody who goes there and they buy those funny little hats and the souvenirs and they go blah blah blah. I mean, the royal family pays for itself many times over in terms of the bottom line for the British economy because so many people go there and just worship that craziness. So that's why it still exists. But in terms of just the idea of having a monarch in a modern developed society, it's just so ridiculous. I mean, we moved away from that centuries ago for a reason. This idea that God said that you and your family are supposed to rule over everyone here in this society. Really? Who in heaven's name believes that?
Steve, you about to cuss over there, Steve. We see you, man. You upset.
No, really. Well, I mean, like I say, I understand the people's need. There's an old saying. There's a reason why Shakespeare wrote plays about kings and queens, not paupers and peasants. And that's because people have this love affair with the upper crust. In America, we had it with people like the Kennedys, and we love soap operas, things like when we were young, shows like Dynasty or Dallas and other things. It's not about poor people. Occasionally you'll get some sort of show about things like the Roseanne show, or you'll get some other impoverished family, that sometimes takes off. But by and large, people want to see imagery about people living these extravagant lives with lots of money and privilege and power and all of this, because that's what people are drawn to. Mm-hmm. And so I understand it, but that doesn't rationalize it from the standpoint of people who are supposed to be providing you with journalism and analysis and context in terms of everything else. So yes, I mean, the adults in the world take a few steps back and say, okay, you can go ahead and talk about her life. But at the same time, recognize that it existed within the context of a very flawed system dating back many centuries, and you can't just simply separate out the two. And we need to recognize it for what it is.
Right.
And make no mistake, I give a great degree of praise to English society and English culture, because it has brought a great many places around the world. Many institutions which were not made it to those places. I mean, the economic system in China and India and the United States, Canada, Australia, great many places, the educational system, the political system, all of these things are gifts of the British Empire. That does not excuse the horrible things that came out of the British Empire as well.
There you go, Steve.
So it's a mixed bag. That's how adults have to look at history. It comes with the good and the bad and the ugly.
That's right, yeah. I got about 2 minutes to my break, man. Did you want to say something about television as well?
Well, yeah, and that was another point, which I think you're absolutely right. I mean, for people who are younger than us, television is full of everything now. But for us, we came of age when television didn't have much to put on. So in other words, in the afternoons and Saturdays and Sundays, what they did was they ran all the reruns of the things that were from generations before. So for our generation, we grew up watching everything that was ever made in the 50s and 60s and 70s, because they had to put something on the air. And so we all end up watching this stuff. And it turns out that if you read the scholarship on this, we were all profoundly harmed by it, because we grew up believing that this is what society was supposed to look like.
Right.
That if you didn't grow up in a home like Leave It to Beaver, mom wasn't running around with pearls and a white dress making dinner, and you didn't have this perfect neighborhood and this perfect life and perfect kids and everything. There was something wrong with you, and it was disturbing. It was disturbing how much harm it did to American society because nobody lived like that. But that's what television told us you were supposed to live like.
Yeah, but it cuts both ways though, because the Cosby Show did the same, but in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Right, absolutely, and they got flack on both sides because on the one hand it was you're finally elevating African Americans to something that many people don't realize that they can be because there are people like this. On the other hand, they were critiqued for this is not what what most African Americans live like. So they couldn't win. In
right.
that sense,
couldn't win. That's right. That's exactly right. Steve, I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Steve. Stay safe, man.
Okay. Man, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, Steve is nothing if he does his research and he knows, he tries to present the things that
read a book or two.
He's checked out.
My man reads a book or two.
Appreciate that in him. But no, the cut both ways point that you made is right on. I mean,
yeah, I mean, so you're brainwashing people in a good way.
Yeah,
which is possible.
Which is okay.
You're showing them what's possible. That's what TV did for white people many years. For many years, you saw imagery of things that you could be. We didn't. We didn't realize the harm it did to us. We didn't realize that we only aspired to be teachers and butlers. That's all we saw. Didn't know we could be lawyers and doctors and such. Didn't know. The number is 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is attorney Gina Smith of Jami Law, JAMII Law.com. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Hey Chicago, are you always on the go? Take the new Shy 311 app with you to find the information that you need, submit non-emergency city service requests, and much more. Download the new Shy 311 app, built with Chicagoans for Chicagoans. That's Shy 311 on the App Store or Google Play, or check it out online at 311.chicago.gov. Stay informed with Shy 311. It's your gateway to Chicago services.
Are you one of the 78% of Americans who'd like to speak with someone about a long-term care plan? Did you know that only 16% have had that conversation? Call the Polaris Insurance Agency at 312-951-2606. One of the Polaris agents in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa can provide you with useful material, like what long-term care currently costs and what it could cost in the coming years according to the Genworth 2012 Cost of Care Study. With information like this, you'll have the power to plan. Call the Polaris Insurance Agency at 312-951-2606. Don't outlive your financial resources.
Assistant principal from Paul Revere. Go Raiders. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
See, Music Soul Child is another genius, man. Dude is...
Take the lyrics out and just listen to the music.
Oh, my God.
That in and of itself is the beat.
That's Music Soul Child, y'all. If you like that, get some of Music Soul Child's music, man. I'd like to see him and D'Angelo in concert together.
No,
man.
you wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to.
Oh, my God.
You'd pass out.
My wife and I went to see music, man, at... House of Blues a number of years ago.
Oh, Jesus, and that's a small, perfect venue.
Oh my God, dude! Look, he's a little bitty dude too, man. Yeah. He put on, and so is D'Angelo. He's a little dude too. Put on a show, man.
Yeah,
put on a show, man. And the thing about the music that music does, and that Prince did, that Cameo did, that D'Angelo does, is that when you see them in concert,
it's not much break from the studio versions.
Well, that too, but it's clear. It's music.
Okay. Maybe that's what I was.
If you go to a Parliament Funkadelic concert, it's fun, but you'll go deaf.
True.
And it's just screaming guitars, and it's a little too active. If you're into music and the different instrumental part and the musicality, Music Soul Child, D'Angelo, even Jill Scott, she insists on her band members being a certain kind of way. The Roots are a certain kind of way.
Yeah. I'll tell you what not to go far because we got these calls, but that's a great way of describing the musicality of it. Chris Bodie and Jill Scott together, it's so clean and clear. He's got that big orchestra behind him. He's a trumpet player, but when they're together, people have ever seen them together, man. Yeah. It's just
they give it to you in a musical way. Cameo does that too. If you ever see Cameo in concert, Larry Blackmon insists on it.
Yeah.
The drum has a certain role. The bass guitar is a certain kind of thing. Hell, when Bootsy separated from Parliament Funkadelic for a while, he was that way.
Yeah.
Because he can make a bass guitar sound like many of the guitars.
It's true.
The way he strums it.
It talks to. They make them talk to you. They literally do.
Yeah.
They do.
Stanley Jordan was in D.C. this weekend too. By the way, a bunch of people went and saw him. Yeah, sure was. I thought about you when he did that. Let's get Ron calling from Michigan here. Hey, Ron, what's up, man?
Ron.
Hi, Eric. Hello, Richard.
Hey.
The colonial thing that you bring up with England, which got them all those castles and jewels, $100 million worth of jewelry and all these cars, lavish. My mother didn't live that long. She was a factory worker. She had half the health care that the Queen had. How many of her subjects would still be alive? But the thing about slavery, they didn't only be they were the beginners of slavery, but they in the second half of the century, after World War II, where FDR said he wanted to destroy the colonial empires of England and France and the other European powers. But when he died, that idea went out with him. And it was Churchill, we're going to stick with Vietnam, the United States. Yeah, they stuck their nose even in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
When, after World War II, Ho Chi Minh had taken over in Vietnam. And British troops were there. And what Churchill did, he said, Japanese, you take control, put down the Vietnamese until the Vichy French can take recontrol of their colonial empire, just like the French did. And it just continued with the wars in Africa. And let's not forget Iran. Iran was a democratically elected socialist government. And the British government, petroleum, they didn't like it because they're going to nationalize the British petroleum oil. So they called in the CIA, and we're still having problems with Iran. Thank you, British Empire. But we can just go all over the world. The British Empire, the blood never dried, and the sun never set on the British Empire, and the blood they spread. Right. Of course, it's all been shrunken now, but we're still getting the effects. And as far as bad TV, growing up in the 50s, I can remember as a kid sitting with my dad. Before I went to kindergarten, we were watching Victory at Sea on NBC, and that great music, and, my dad, a World War II veteran, it helped him get through his PTSD, I know. And, we talk history, and I had a little blackboard. I was learning my ABCs and some numbers that we bought on Maxwell Street before I started kindergarten, but there was good TV on in the 50s. You had to look for it. There was Sergeant Bilko. We can laugh, but again, it helped my dad and me, relate. And but we had Howdy Doody, we had Buffalo Bob, but one thing about TV at that time, Amos and Andy was on prime time at that time on one of the networks. I think it was NBC, and then it was picked up by WGN TV into the late 50s and early 60s. So there was good and bad TV in the 50s, and
that's the thing, though. The imagery is when you watch that stuff. That's who you can be, who you can see, and that's who you saw.
Yep.
And people didn't realize the impact of that. Well, maybe they did. I don't know that. Maybe they did.
Realize the impact?
In some cases, I think some people saw good, decent, hardworking people there too. There was buffoonery and silliness, but they showed Red Skelton and other stupid white people doing stuff too. But I totally understand that the discrimination that Amos and Andy had to endure with that show to get whatever positive message you may have been able to glean from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Ron, I appreciate it, man. Be well up there, okay?
Thanks, Ron.
Welcome, man.
Okay, see ya.
You're welcome.
Let's get my man Earl calling from Hyde Park to see what he got to say crazy today. What's up, Earl?
Wow, man, I don't know why I dialed in there.
My man Earl.
I just know that. Well, at any rate, all right, you think I don't have any respect today? Wait till I get through talking, then I really know the next time I call in, I'm not going to have any respect.
Okay, we'll see. I'll sit back and listen. Go ahead, man.
All right. Basically, what I'm going to say is I agree with you and I disagree with you. Okay, and I agree with Steve and I disagree with Steve. Okay, now basically what I'm trying to say is that the monarchy of today is not the monarchy of the 50s and the 1600s where the king and queen ruled and had ultimate power and whatever they said went. Actually, the roles are reversed now. Parliament tells the queen, that's what happens once a week. The prime minister meets with the queen, and he gives her orders to do what they need her to go out and say, to give her scripted scripts, to tell her where to go, what to promote. It's kind of like a magic act. The queen and the kingdom is sort of like the pretty girl on stage with the short skirts where all the guys are watching her and you're not watching what the magician is doing with his other hands. They are not in charge. They can't summon the army. They can't summon the Navy and go out and conquer lands and demand this, that, and the other. Their job, they get rewarded for doing what Parliament wants them to do.
Yeah, but why? Why? Why they need them?
Why do they need that? Yeah. Hey, who knows? I mean, I'm not them. I've never been brought up that way. I've never felt the need to be.
Okay, so let me ask you a different level question then. Let me ask you a different level question. Given the shenanigans and the plundering that they have been associated with, doesn't that make them guilty by even employing them in the first place?
I'm not saying they're not guilty, but I'm saying they're not the ones that's pulling the strings now.
Well, no, I understand how their government works now. I understand that the prime minister and the parliament. I understand that. That's not beyond me. What I'm suggesting to them is that you've decided to employ a plunderer to do your bidding. That's what that government's decided to do.
No, I think that it's more complicated than that because what they're doing is also, like Steve said, they're generating funds. People go.
Okay, so they're a zoo. They're a human zoo. So people can come look at their little fancy houses and crazy ass hats.
And that's right. Go take pictures in front of the castles and do all of this other stuff.
Okay, so they decided to employ a plunderer because they can make them money.
But I'm saying that they are not the plunderers now.
Oh,
they
did. That's like saying that. Okay, you're a murderer, but you make us money, so we're going to go ahead and employ you.
Well, that's like George Bush and when we attacked Iraq. Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11.
That's right. That's right.
They were plundering Iraq's oil. They wanted to go in there and plunder Iraq's oil. And we, like idiots, sent our armies and committed hundreds of thousands of people to go into Iraq.
Right.
All nations do stupid things. But what I'm saying is to attribute all of the past wrongs that were done by the monarchy to what the monarchy is today is not necessarily fair because they have really no power.
Well, no. So be clear on what we said now, though. So again, I don't disagree with you. What I'm suggesting to you is that they have a platform, and I use Michael Jordan as the example. They have a platform.
Yeah, right. But if they don't go by what they are told to do by the prime minister, they won't get paid.
Well, I think they possess assets. They're living off of stolen assets right now.
I'm not saying, but
they're arguably the richest people on earth, with the possible exception of Putin. So they already have the money. Now, can the government take it from them? Probably, if they wanted to, but that would create a whole different problem. The point is that that UK government has negotiated with plunderers, or at the very least, people who've stood by and watched plundering occur and participate.
You're saying that they are the plunderers. Nowadays, they are not the plunderers. During World War II, they weren't the plunderers. During World War I, they weren't the plunderers.
Okay, well, I don't disagree with you. All I'm saying is that they either plundered or they stood by and watched plundering occur and got paid.
I agree with that. I agree, but you attacking them as if they had the power to make change. And
I'm not. I'm attacking them like I did Michael Jordan on their inability to step up and say something with their platform. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but I'm still saying that's not their job. That's all.
Sure, it is. Listen, Earl, it's your job. If you see something jumping off,
it's not their job. If you want to get paid, this is the deal they made with the devil. If you want to get paid, you have to perform these trips that I command you to do.
Okay. Then that means they're complicit.
Right.
That means they're complicit.
I'm not saying they're not complicit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not complicit. I'm just saying that they are not the earth shakers. They're not the movers and makers. Parliament is the mover and makers.
I think it's a difference without a distinction, quite frankly.
Well, if they're complicit, you're right. It's a distinction. But then why not attack Parliament equally as well as you attack the Queen?
Good. Thank you. I'll do that too then.
Your tirade was just against the Queen. You didn't attack Parliament. You didn't spend half an hour talking about Parliament.
Why are you measuring my time, man? Why are you measuring my time, bro? Why are you measuring how much time I'm talking, man?
Because
don't you mind your business?
I've been on the phone waiting.
Right.
On the phone waiting.
I think we agree, man. I think we agree. Even though you're crazy, I think we agree, man. Yeah, we agree.
All right. Hey, Richard.
What?
I feel like hey, Richard, I still want you to come on in the mornings, okay? Do more morning shows, okay, buddy?
All right.
All right, buddy. He called you buddy.
I know he did. That's why I was like, oh, God. All right, man.
Thanks for calling. Man. All right. See you. Oh, man. All right, buddy.
Yeah, no.
Buddy, man. Let me get Jim. Hey, Jim, what's up, man?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, man. How you?
Good. The Anglo-Saxons ruled the world for about 275 years. Everywhere they went, they exploited, they murdered, they every atrocity you could think of. They stole everything they could get their hands on. I think in Cyprus they have $6 or $7 billion just stashed away for a rainy day, let alone a jewel that was taken from Africa that is worth $500 million in just one of her crowns alone. Now, I'm Irish. I was raised Irish Republican Army in both sides of my family. In fact, the man I'm named after was hung by the English Army. And we supported the IRA for as long as they existed. They finally wrestled their independence away in 101 years ago, coming up in about a month. And it took about 800 years to do it. They murdered I don't know how many Irishmen, imprisoned I don't know how many Irishmen. And the thing that I say about this queen, the one thing I would say that she shares with everybody when we do exit from this earth, I hope we all have pain medication. I wish to God we all lived to be 96 years old and had physicians around us and gave us pain medication to exit this earth. But apparently that doesn't happen in America. We got 33 million Americans without any health insurance. So there's going to be 33 million people laying in their bed without any pain medication. Anyway, you guys have a great show. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it, man.
That's a good observation about the balance of privilege. So to Earl's point, I get what he's saying.
Real crazy.
But here's the thing. If they weren't, first of all, Parliament didn't have anybody die that we know of, that everybody's making a big deal about. And secondly, from what I've been reading and following for a longer time than this recent death, is that Charles has always wanted to push that away. Because why? He wants to be able to influence what happens. But irrespective of all of that, it doesn't really matter unless they're going to make significant change. And I don't see if Charles, as king,
engage in reparative behavior.
Right. Then we'll listen. Because he has influence, the monarchy has influence over Parliament. Not for 1 minute. We all know that that's the truth.
If only because what Earl said, they generate money for them.
And the other reason is, if that weren't the case, then how in the hell does a prime minister get the blessing from? I mean, that's
ceremonial, maybe, but we don't know. That's why it's all stupid.
That's why it's all stupid. Right. That's why it doesn't matter. The monarch gets to do the crossing of the next prime minister for what?
They have to engage in reparative behavior like this country does and every other country that's decided to act out an alien movie around the world. You got to fix that, man.
Meanwhile, 33 million people don't have, coverage to make sure their lives are better.
Any manner of things. Hell, in this country, I'll go back again and tell you, you got military people who don't have housing or food.
Hey, well, why in the hell is that?
Well, yeah, why is that? Tell me about no kind of craziness. I appreciate Earl, though, man.
I know.
Although he crazy.
He crazy,
man. Stop. You know Earl, the crazy one. Yeah, the crazy Earl.
That one.
No, crazy Earl.
You know Earl.
That's right, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
I'm so happy it's the weekend, 'cause I'm gonna let my hair hang down and shake my thing around. Just what to do. Tonight is my night. Tonight is the night. Yeah. We gon' have a good time.
This is DeAndre Edwards, assistant coach of the West Inglewood Tigers. Keep listening to the family.
We gon' have a good time. Let's just have a good time. Forget your worries, just leave them behind. 'Cause life's too short. You need to find a good time.
Itsashort.com. The website is itsashort.com, spelled ITSASHORT.com. We are the best designation on the internet for award-winning short film, video, and web series. Artists are from all over the world. They are award-winning from various festivals, but you can find us at info@itsashort.com, customer care at itsashort.com, and we'll get back to you straight away.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris has introduced a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
A Single K plan is a 401k plan designed especially for business owners and immediate family, regardless if they are incorporated or not. Single Ks offer both employer and employee contributions and in many cases have no setup fee or annual plan administrative charges. Single Ks are simple to administer with no government reporting required. Most importantly, this plan allows employees to access their savings via hardship withdrawals or loans. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com or call us about your business or organization's retirement plan at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Polaris provides empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
Exclusive, ayo, Faith. We about to make it hot for the summer, baby. Make it hot for the summer, make it hot. Make it hot for the summer, New Faith, baby. We gon' make it hot. Y'all ready? We gon' make it hot. Let's go.
Everybody's looking for their one and only love, and I'd be a fool to settle for someone that isn't good enough. If you're gonna love me right, 'cause I played a fool too many times. If you're gonna love me good, or I'll find another man who will. Let's go, 'cause a girl like me is.
This is Brandon Allen, a.k.a. The Scrub, and welcome back to the Family Meeting.
Brandon's enjoying fatherhood now these days. He and I got together before I left town last week, and it's my man B, big fella, the Scrub.
That's
yeah. So listen, man. Let me say this: the monarchy now, and it may be in the possession of the country of UK, but the riches plundered by them are still in their possession. They still are harboring stolen goods.
Mm-hmm.
They're still harboring them, things they've stolen from Africa and other countries, and that they're showcasing now. You need to get that stuff back.
Sound familiar in terms of current events here in our own country?
But on the flip side, though, here's why I understand to a degree, and it's the way we've been socialized. Every little girl and every woman
wants
to feel like and be treated like a princess or a queen.
Yeah.
Because of the imagery associated with that.
And it's been relentless.
Right. Every man wants to be
the prince and
the king,
the rescuer and the king, and
right, the bravado, all that stuff.
We're still making movies on that craziness.
Yes,
still making movies.
Everybody wants to play that role.
Best-selling movies, gross, box office gross, are about king, queen, prince, and princess.
So there's a fairy tale aspect to this. When they watched the wedding of the big-eared dude, what's his name again?
Charles.
That dude.
And Diana,
the one that died in the car crash.
Yeah, and I haven't even gotten there yet about the monarchy. This dude, big wedding. Everybody like what's his name said, billions of people watch. And he turns around. Their relationship breaks apart. I'm not saying who did what, when, and how.
Doesn't matter to me.
But their relationship breaks apart. It's a national event, but at the end of the day, I mean, what? Who? The saddest part about that whole thing is the way in which Diana died, because nobody should die in that sort of.
We don't want anybody to die.
Period.
Period. And under any circumstances, that's not really the point.
No,
it's the accounting for your behavior while you were alive.
And then the management of that was like, so they're supposed to be the monarchical people, the ones that are the better ones, but then the way that just fell out. I mean, it was a train wreck. No pun intended.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Let me get Mary calling from Elk Grove here. Hey, Mary, thanks for holding.
How you been, Mary?
Hi, guys. I'm doing well.
I mean, like really well, like great, or just okay?
Not quite great yet.
What's wrong?
What's
wrong, Mary?
Nothing that we're going to talk about. But I
now Mary's keeping secrets now. Now Mary got secrets. Okay.
Every woman has her secrets, so let me just give you guys that.
Okay, Mary. Fair enough. Yeah, that's fine enough.
Okay, but here's the thing: as a daughter of two Irish immigrants, I might have a thing or two to say about the Queen.
Come on now.
Oh, just a smidge. First of all, Irish Twitter and Black Twitter are blowing up on this.
Yep.
It's like the Irish and the Black are like kumbaya, okay, whatever. And I know it's all in the past, but her great-grandmother...
It's not, though.
No, it's not, Mary. No, it's not. Come on, girl, preach.
It's not, because we did our family tree, and we saw what happened during the famine, and they starved us. And they wouldn't let us fish our own waters. You could not fish the waters in Ireland.
I know.
Okay? You couldn't fish. I mean, you had to go so far, the boats would never go out. And as far as her grandfather who was king, my grandfather fought her grandfather. So I'm not going to say it. But,
make you want to cuss, not curse.
Make you want to cuss.
Make you want to cuss.
You know what? And then everyone wants to say, well, don't, the past. Oh, that's the past. Don't put that on her. Okay. And then they want to say, oh, but she couldn't do anything. You know what? She could have done something during the Irish hunger strike. She could have done something during the Troubles.
If only to say something.
Mary, I think I'm a couple years older than you. In my lifetime as a black dude in America, I followed what happened with the IRA because I was like, that stuff is crazy. That's wrong. They're terrorizing those people. That wasn't 1941. That was 1971.
Yes. And what they did in Northern Ireland was wrong, and what they continue to do, this is continuing up until the 90s. You know, I haven't kept up with what's going on recently. I think the Troubles have settled down, but they're still there.
Oh, yeah.
The Army's still there. The border watches are still there. So don't give me that. Give me that. And you know what? You want to say, oh, well, she had nothing to do with that. Okay, well, that's well and good. Then why are we worshiping her?
Bingo.
Why? What does she do? The royal family is nothing but a bunch of leeches. That's not a curse word. That's an Irish word. They're leeches. Okay, they take these people are billionaires, and they take $100 million a year from the regular working class British people. And I have nothing against the Brits. I love the Brits. I love the Rolling Stones. I love the Beatles, and yada 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 yada. Okay, I'm fine with that. But this royal family, it's messed up. And she has no power. She did have power when it came to Princess Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Diana was only 19 years old when she got engaged, 20 when she was married. She walked in there all doe-eyed, completely in love because she's 19, 20 years old. And meanwhile, he's got a side chick the entire time. And when she wanted to get out and she was having her troubles, the queen was nasty to her. And when she died, she did not come out to say anything for like 5 days.
Until she was forced.
Yeah, until she was forced to say, she was looking after her grandchildren. When her son was a newborn infant, she jumped on her yacht and went on a 6-month tour around the world. So don't tell me that she was Was she babysitting? Was she babysitting William and Harry? I don't think so. What England is to Ireland is this. It's like, and this is it has been online, on the internet. It's like having a neighbor who loves clowns. And they decorate their house with clowns. And they put clowns in all the windows. And all they ever want to talk about is clowns. But in the case of Ireland, it's like your grandfather was killed by a clown. Okay? That's what it's like for us. And as far as what Earl said, they have no power, She had nothing to do with it. She had nothing to do with it. You know what? My family didn't own slaves. I had nothing to do with it. My parents, my grandparents, we had nothing to do with it. Yet, we benefited. Okay? So as far as like colonialism and what she did in Africa and India and all around the world, everyone's like, oh, the sun never set on the British Empire. Yeah, tell me how that happened. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of history behind
Plundering. Mary, thank you. Be well.
Take care, Mary.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Let me get D calling from Chicago. D, what's up?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so enjoying the show, and I enjoyed when you took over for St. Peter. That was very cool then.
Thank you.
Do you want him back in the mornings? You want him back in the mornings?
Let y'all go there.
You gotta give him away now.
You got to get his ass up early. I'm not getting up. You count on that.
That was early. That was really early. But it was so important to me to hear her say that 94% of all of this wonderful money that they enjoy, 94% is from Africa and India. Now, where is that money? You said it a few moments ago. Where is that money going, and why aren't they helping some people who are starving in Africa and probably India too? But they can sit on it, and they can keep taking and keep taking. BP is all over the States. British Petroleum, and people don't think about it. And when you talked about Mr. Cosby, I enjoyed his show because it did show an upper echelon of what we can do. That's what it meant to me, what we can be. And the fact that a lot of people don't know there are thousands upon thousands of black lawyers in the United States. But what really got him in trouble wasn't so much the show as one day, I don't remember the host, but he was on a show where he spoke to the host and said, our people need to learn how to read. 10,000 red flags. You cannot educate a Negro. Oh, my God. He really, really talked about, then he was Dr. Cosby, that we must have literacy. And he said it over and over. And it seemed like everything started to change after that. Not the more recent situation about women, but when he said educate and how important that is to black people, then it was a real dangerous situation. When you have education, you have power. You can move and you can make things happen. And we never, ever should forget that and never should turn our backs on each other. Stop, learn, listen, and teach. Yeah, I'm an educator, but I still think you should learn to teach someone else as soon as you know. Thanks, guys.
Thanks you. Be well. See you, D. Let's get my man, who's next? Eduardo in here. Eduardo, what's new, man?
Hey, guys, I thought I'd give you a call before I have dinner here.
What's for dinner, man?
You didn't invite us. What's wrong with that?
Well, we have to have soup because it's only in the 60s, and I'm having tamales.
Okay, I'll be by in a little bit, man. Save me some, okay?
Put me a plate on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. My comment briefly on this is 9/11 is today. You know, this has to do with, I was thinking about this all day, has to do with upper class. I mean, I have the Spanish news on mute right now, and it didn't surprise you what was the first story, of course. It was what we've been talking about. And, I mean, there were African Americans and Latinos and other races that, you know, died on 9/11. I saw Vice President Harris there in New York today with her husband. So, I mean, it's a shame that kind of like trips over that. And then we can't forget also France and Spain, as far as, you know.
And, the Portuguese were involved in a bunch of stuff as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's Europeanism as much as it is colonialism.
Yeah, it's the plot for every Alien movie, what they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Eduardo's hungry. He wants to eat his tamales.
Yeah, man, you got to go have your meal before you pass out.
Yeah, make some biscuits to go with it, man. I'll be over in a little bit. My man Eduardo.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get Brian calling from Joliet. Hey, Brian. Actually, your name is Brain today. That's the way Devin spelled it. It's Brain.
Brain.
Brian from Joliet.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Brain from Joliet.
Brian from Joliet. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Everybody's got some good points today, great points today. Well, I just want to weigh in on this. Practically everything on TV today is doing with about the royalty, and seems like our oligarchs here are always worried about what's going down like in other countries. I think put down about some 60 to 80 billion already in Ukraine. Now they're talking putting in billions in Taiwan, and I would never have expected them to be fighting like tigers for democracy overseas, while it's entirely possible that after 2 months in this country, we might lose all democracy here if these fascists get in the House and the Senate. And I think, why don't we use that money to end all poverty in the United States and all homelessness within the United States? And like helping out them poor folks in Mississippi with the water situation, stuff like that. Useful stuff for U.S.
Yeah, how about that? But that makes too much sense, though, man. That's nowhere in the world they'll do something that makes that much sense.
Nope.
Well, they should. But thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
Brain. Have a great day.
You too, man. And my man, Brain.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Brain, Devin.
Like we were saying before the show started, about that just makes too much sense.
Yeah.
It is. It's almost. We almost don't even want to. We refrain from saying it sometimes because how could that be such an easy thing? How could you walk by that? You know, reduce our defense budget by 5%, and how many people talk about
get fed and housed?
Sorry,
how many people get fed and housed if you just do that?
So we're talking about defense, right? the guys and gals that fought to defend our country, redirect some of that fighting budget to taking care of the people who actually fought.
Buy one less missile, and you're good.
You're right. That we're going to go sell and talk about how the Earl's thing about the showgirl. That we're going to just go showgirl to another country our weaponry so they buy it. And does that go into the pockets of the men and women who fought? No. Or just to improve their lives? So I kind of catch myself, because these moments where we've got this person who died, everybody's grandmama died, everybody's mama's died.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people's grandmama did terrible things.
Right. And so what we can't have a conversation about that because she was a quote unquote monarch. How?
Class and dignity. It's not the time and all that stuff. For us, it's the time.
It's always the time. And like Mary said, and Mary was spot on.
That's why y'all come here, because it's always time here. Mm-hmm. It's always
right.
time.
We never
here.
put that off. Well, we'll talk about that next week. If we literally run out of time because of the clock, but outside of it, it's not a right moment.
We don't have that kind of decorum here. No,
I like how Mary put it though about the whole Irish, and I personally, because of friends that I have, that was something I was forced to look at and go, damn.
At my father's memorial service, my cousin Albert referred to my father as the prince of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I understand being royalty. We've described people as being royalty.
Yeah.
There's an allure to that, but it don't need to occupy my whole day of news.
Nope.
It doesn't.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right, y'all. Tommy's next. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
My name is Cecil B. Lucy, attorney at law and certified public accountant. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
We do. We buy, we sell, we move, we store. Anything, anytime, anywhere. We do. The company that handles all your stuff. If you have anything that you want to do something with, please call us. We buy, sell, move, store, donate, discard. Anything, anytime, anywhere. eBay plus U-Haul equals we do. We are moving at the speed of life. Call Terry Calloway, 312-343-9973, or via email, contact him at terrycalloway58@gmail.com.
A 2016 study estimated that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft last year. Fight back against your identity being stolen by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID for as little as $6 per month. Yes, that's only $6 per month by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we've created a Patreon Family Meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, thefamilymeeting.com, and click on the link.
You know what I think heaven is? I think heaven is you. You know that? Your love is divine.
This is Dr. Sharon Bethia. I'm Associate Professor at Northeastern Illinois University and the coordinator of the African American Studies program. Welcome back to the Family Meetings.
Listen to Sugarfoot do his thing.
Man.
Wow.
Wow. See, y'all just don't know. Y'all will never be ready for this. Because me and Eric have been here swooning, two grown-ass men swooning to the Ohio players. Y'all just don't know. We were growing up, when we were little boys, junior high school-ish, and the Ohio players just started to hit it. They were just, I mean, Eric, I'm saying this about me and Eric. We didn't grow up together, but we grew up together. You know, Ohio players playing at a set, you know, that vinyl was spinning, man. Right? You make a damn fool out of yourself.
Man, please, man. This is all improvised music to a large degree.
Yeah.
They made this stuff up. It wasn't written. They didn't go in the studio with written music.
So we're going to do it this way.
They just started playing, and this all kind of, this came out of what Ohio players did. A lot of Lakeside did the same thing. Cameo was a little more structured than that, but
there's a lot of great music out today, and a lot of it's on the shoulders of this. To not denigrate anybody or any era or genre of music, I think that the real conversation is the fact that a lot of the current great stuff is on the shoulders of this kind of music.
Well, interesting, Larry Blackman in an interview with Questlove said that Ohio players was who he wanted to be.
Who didn't? We wanted to be the Ohio players. There's little kids who were listening to it. We
put together
to
a band, get the big afro and stuff. Yeah, man, please.
That little cut that he had, that indentation that Sugarfoot had.
Yeah, man, come on, man. Okay, we're going to get off of that now.
We just geeked out. It's okay, though.
Yeah, we got on the funk a little bit, man.
Eric took us to church, y'all, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, y'all ain't ready for this, man. This is craziness. We probably then should, I don't know, let Tommy get it in?
Probably.
Let's do that, shall we?
Yes.
Tom, what's up, man?
You know, I am always amazed at the events that take place in the world, how people react and the negativity or positivity that is a result of it. So the recent passing of Elizabeth and the comments that pour in afterwards clearly shows that we are just completely aloof from reality, because this is one of the countries that is the major player in the actual carving out of the world as we know it. And so as this stuff dies off, then you can issue in your so-called critical race theory that allows people to delude or dismiss the absolute truth, which is why the Confederate statues should have never, ever been taken down, or why you can sit and see for yourself that this woman obviously was no more than the same individual that we call the President of the United States of America, who's nothing but window dressing, and they do and have nothing that they do except for represent whatever the body or the flag may be. I would suggest and say right now that you would think that individuals would understand a clear narrative of the nuclear reactor over in Ukraine being the largest in Europe, and yet the world stands by while another country is bombing the hell out of it, putting the entire landscape of Europe in a particular situation. You would also begin to ask yourself a question: how an individual could live through World War and understand the narrative of, I got the biggest stick, I do what I do, and I kill off all these people and all the rest of it, or why any such person, because of the color of their skin, would live under the auspices in which we do right now. But then you'd have to keep on listening to the family meeting. So I digress. Today I'm not throwing no bricks. I'm just sitting back asking myself, how long does this craziness go on? Do we debate between two comments, which is one, Do we have a democracy or do we have an autocracy? How long do we continue to look all around the world and see how all of these things came to be, and yet we're still on TikTok and Instagram and all the rest of it? How long before the reality of what's happening in this country right now, that we're having this debate between, are you following this Constitution or are we making up a whole completely different one? Do people recognize and understand this world is in serious trouble? And this monarch, as you see it as today, is a living example of where we've come from and pretty much where we're headed if we don't pull ourselves together and recognize one simple narrative. Either we're human beings or we can all perish as fools. Keep listening. I don't know how I got so profound today. Must be the absence of I ain't got no straw to make bricks. Goodbye.
Making bricks out of straw. Man, Tommy. Tom, thanks. That's our contribution to your community safety, because if we don't let Tom get it out here, he's in your neighborhood with his straw bricks, breaking your windows. Thank you, Tom, for that. Thank you, Tom, for that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So, so you got thieves.
Yes.
Listen, man. Ouch. It's the attempt at revising history,
and or blocking it from being told truthfully.
Yeah, all in the process of blocking pieces and only sharing certain parts and that kind of thing, for the sake of something. I mean, either absolving yourself of the crime or just not making a big deal about it, or because you're trying to avoid having to engage in reparative behavior. Whatever the notion is.
I think the basis, I could be wrong, I think the basis of that is a person's inherent weakness and and an inability to acknowledge that.
Well, at the core, like we've said before, if my grandparents or great-grandparents did what your great-grandparents did, I'd rather not talk about it extensively.
True.
Right. But I would also be interested in reparative behavior.
Yep.
And that's the part that's so insidious. It is...
Mary said it. She said, "Listen, my greats and grands and parents did not own slaves." She said, without batting an eye, but I benefited from slavery.
Absolutely, absolutely, and so it's because the people engage like this. And for me, at this point, it doesn't matter why, because I can understand the human inclination to not want to talk about it.
Sure.
I understand it's a bad thing, but I don't understand is the lack of empathy, or sympathy is the wrong word. It's the unwillingness to engage in reparative behavior. That's the piece, because we all know the history. In fact, the history isn't written by the people who've been put upon.
Right, it's written by
the people who did it.
So that's why
you told us you did it.
Isn't that crazy about that's the irony, to use the word appropriately, of the book removals. Much of that work was written by the ancestors, the descendants of the people who perpetrated.
Right.
What's in the books.
Because if you leave it to us, because we weren't authoring the stories.
We might get it wrong. Or some of it wrong.
We only know about it because y'all told us you did it.
Right.
And it's the old school equivalent of what these idiot kids do when they're doing something they shouldn't do, and they put it on video and put it on social media. Y'all did the same thing. You wrote it in the books. Mm-hmm. So you know you did it. We know you did it. And we know the impact currently. All the data, we are walking evidence of the crime. I say this all the time. You call me, you refer to me as Eric Grant. That's not my name. It's not my name. I don't know my name because of what your great-grandparents did.
Yep.
I don't know where I'm from because of what your great-grandparents did. I'm the walking evidence of the crime. And you've got data associated with it that shows what happens to people like me. Not necessarily, what ends up happening is when you say that, look what happened to me. Well, you've got it good. Okay, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about me collectively. Yep. We. The data shows what the problem is. So, the avoidance of reparative behavior in favor of this fairy tale stuff that we're doing, that the news media just bolsters, is maddening. Y'all got me watching Seinfeld.
And now we're rolling, and to go along with what Eric is saying, and now we got a large, we have a faction, I won't define its size, but we have a faction in the country that's trying to even roll back from that. So what Eric is saying, reparative behavior, I'm saying we've got factions that now want to step away from even a conversation about, my God, reparative behavior. They want to remove it from the slate, period, like it didn't even happen.
Yeah, right. You're right. It's evolving from.
It's going backwards. It's regressing to, well, no, that didn't really happen.
Well, I mean, so here's where I think we are. I think that it is, to a degree, there's a faction of people who want to avoid reparative behavior. Now it's pivoted to talking about it harms us.
Right. That's it. No.
It's harmful for us to talk about
perpetrators.
To talk about, right, it harms the perpetrators or the descendants of the perpetrators to talk about the perpetrators.
And can we marry this up with the Queen? Yes, we can, because they are part of this on a global level. Come on, y'all. We know.
And so, to Earl's point, I can see how the government of the UK would not want to do that, because to the extent the monarchy becomes damaged goods that they can't use to make money if you attach them to their history.
Right. Because
so we need to remove their history so we can make money off of the stupidity.
Bingo. And to what Mary, and again, this is tying in a little to what Mary said about, I mean, Mary didn't, you and I are naturally and are going to attach the cultural piece as black men to enslavement in the United States, because that's the reality. The reason I can say we can marry this up to the monarchy is what Mary said. Mary was talking about it as a white woman in America, 2 generations removed from enslavement in America, but she was talking about what happened in her lifetime to her culture.
There's a
so people don't want to talk about it. They want to move away from it. They don't want to even acknowledge it. And now it's harmful to talk about it.
Several years back in the Atlantic, Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote an essay entitled "The Case for Reparations."
Yep.
I would encourage you, for those who are intellectually curious, to read that. And one of the core arguments that he makes in his essay, and it's sizable.
It's a great piece of work.
Fantastic.
It's one of the best things written in the last 25 years.
It's what makes him our modern-day James Baldwin.
Yeah.
He discusses the fact that, okay, let's pluck slavery out of the equation. Let's say that it was, in fact, far enough back where there's no impact. Then you have to account for what happened after slavery, which was essentially Jim Crow, right in the middle of Jim Crow. There was a phase of time before Jim Crow. Then there was Jim Crow, and then there was the remnants of Jim Crow. But Jim Crow sat in the middle of that time period, and which, like we said earlier, is even more insidious, to have people running around thinking they have rights and freedom and not being able to enjoy them.
Right.
Right. And that's just this country. This has gone on all over the world. It's going on everywhere, right? And to the extent you think that Africa isn't civilized, that's largely due
to resources,
to the plot of the Alien movie that the UK and other European countries imposed upon these people. They stripped the resources. How do you allow apartheid to persist for that long?
Right.
And once it's finished, and now the people who were put upon want to take back what you stole,
now you're getting
tell
upset.
them it ain't fair.
Right.
And it ain't fair to take back what you stole.
And if you all don't believe us in terms of the raping and the plundering, but just the resources being taken out of Africa, there's a movie that came out in 1975, I believe it was. It's called Gold. You should watch it. It's a movie called Gold, and one of the stars of the movie is Roger Moore from James Bond. And it's about how the UK and the German governments went in basically to extract gold out of the continent of Africa, and how, once again, they used their internal, African to get them to the place where they could go in and take resources.
So since it's 9/11 and we're on this don't forget or don't never forget tip, since we're on that thing, let's do that.
Right. Let's not forget.
Let's never forget all of it. And I would encourage you to pursue this with a high level of intellectual security, intellectual curiosity. in a way that allows you to know the whole story. Now, this is not to say that you should be trashing the queen. I don't care about that woman. I don't care about her family. I don't care about them. I think it's stupid, but y'all got to deal with that. But know the whole history, and if you do, it might piss you off what the media is doing.
Mm-hmm. In fact, it might. If nothing else, it'll challenge you to what they're doing. They're like, damn, here we go again. Same story.
Because they're slipping up on this one. There's a lot of news to be had here, not the least of which is, does Jackson have drinking water yet? What's going on in Flint for that while we're on water?
We're worried about, sorry.
They arrested a pastor in Alabama for watering his neighbor's grass. Tell me what happened with that. How about that?
Yeah.
That's all the time we have. I want to thank you for yours. Did we do a lot of yelling today? We do that? I did a lot of yelling today.
Both of us did.
I think,
We don't yell often, but we did today.
Well, I appreciate y'all putting up with us. Y'all got a lot of things you can do on Sundays, and we do appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
Yes, we do.
Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. I'm your host with the Black Asian dude.
Me.
The morning guy. Yeah. He's going to be the morning guy here at WCPT. WCPT.
Yeah, bro.
Peace.
You be like that, Mr. Big Man. We all love to like. That's right. Game airtight.